Are you sure? There was once a man who had to be away from home for quite some time. When he left, his wife was expecting their first child. By the time he returned, she had given birth to a baby boy. But when the father looked at the child, he began to suspect. The boy, in his eyes, resembled their neighbor, a man who had often come by to help around the house. Doubt crept in and quietly took root. He began to believe the child wasn't his, and so he couldn't love the boy. Whenever he looked at his son, all he could see was the face of someone else. That silent suspicion stayed with him for nearly 12 years. Then one day, his older brother came to visit. Upon seeing the child, he exclaimed with joy, "How this boy resembles you. He looks just like your younger self." And just like that, something shattered inside. The father's mistaken perception dissolved. For the first time in 12 years, he saw clearly. But by then, the damage had already been done. His doubt had brought years of pain to his wife, who bore his silent mistrust. His child, too, had suffered, rejected and unloved by his own father. So many of us live in suffering because of wrong perception. That's why the Buddha often reminded us, don't be too quick to trust your view of things. Even when we look at something as familiar as the sunset, we believe we're seeing the sun in real time, but science tells us otherwise. The image of the sun we're seeing actually belongs to 8 minutes ago. That's how long it takes light to travel from the sun to our eyes. When we look up at the stars, we believe they're still there. But some of those stars may have vanished millions of years ago. What we see is only an echo of their past. So we must be very careful with our perceptions, because when we're not, we suffer. And worse, we cause others to suffer with us. You might consider writing this simple question on a small piece of paper and placing it somewhere visible. Are you sure? In some hospitals, especially in testing labs and pharmacies, there's a phrase often displayed, "Even if you're sure, check again." It's not there to question anyone's intelligence, but to prevent mistakes that could harm others. What if we use that same phrase in our daily practice? Even if I'm sure, let me look again. Because how many times have we created suffering, sometimes lasting years, because we were sure of something that turned out not to be true? Many people have lived in sorrow for 10, 20 years, carrying a false belief that someone betrayed or wronged them, when in truth, that person may have only ever acted with kindness. When anger or pain arises, come back to your breath. Look deeply into the nature of your perception. If you can remove a wrong perception, peace and love will be restored, and you will see that the one you pushed away is someone you can love again. Looking deeply into anger together. When someone knows that you are truly trying to understand the roots of your anger, it touches something in them. Your practice becomes their inspiration. Even while driving or preparing a meal, they may begin to wonder, what did I say or do that caused so much pain? And slowly, they begin to reflect more deeply. They might remember moments, subtle, unnoticed at the time, when their words or actions hurt you. They begin to let go of the belief that they had no role in the conflict. And when they see their part clearly, when they recognize their lack of mindfulness, they may feel a natural impulse to reach out. Perhaps with a phone call or a quiet message of apology. I see now how my actions hurt you. I'm so sorry. In this way, both of you are practicing. Both of you are looking deeply. So when the two of you finally meet on that agreed upon Friday evening, it may not feel heavy or difficult. It might feel warm, even joyful. It might be the beginning of something new. Perhaps you'll sit down to a meal together or share a cup of tea. Maybe just a simple pastry on the table, nothing fancy, but filled with presence and softened by love. Dear friends, the path of peace is not far. It begins with one question, sincerely asked, "Am I sure?" And it deepens when we stop trying to be right and start learning how to truly see. May you and your loved ones walk this path together with humility, clarity, and compassion.